have two very special guests on this conversation. Before I do the intros, I'll just start off with who I am. So my name is Tammy Briggs. I'm an account executive at Provence, based in London, and I help IT leaders and organizations to reduce costs, lower complexity, and get better, efficient service delivery using ServiceTeam, which is a suite of ITSM and ITAM products built on the Power Platform. So that's me. David, would you like to do a little intro?
Of course. David Halligan. I'm Chief Technology Officer at Leeds City Council. Been here for 3 years with a mandate to modernise our applications and improve our ways of working.
Fantastic. And Keely, nice to see you again.
Yeah, same to you, Tammy. So Keely Howarth, account executive at Microsoft. So currently working closely with David and the wider team at Leeds on their all-up technical strategy and making sure that they're realising that ever so important return on investment with regards to the Microsoft technology. So yeah, really pleased to be here today, and thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. So everyone's probably wondering what this call is about. Well, what it is simply reaching out to David to get some insights on Leeds strategy and their vision all up in terms of not just Microsoft, but the broader ecosystem of what they have currently in terms of transformation and their journey, and to get best practices and insights. That's what we have requested. We have 25 minutes, so I'm going to make sure we maximize the 25 minutes. And I'll go ahead and start off with the very first question on my mind, David, if that's okay. Can you tell us a little bit about Leeds City Council's vision and how ServiceTeam fits into that vision?
Of course. So Leeds' digital vision is people, employee, and community first. So we're in the people business, not the technology business, and technology is an enabler and a lever for us. So we use digital data and technology to improve lives, strengthen communities, and support inclusive, sustainable growth, ensuring that no one's left behind. For the integrated digital service, that means delivering outcomes for colleagues and residents, deploying solutions that meet real needs, protecting trust, resilience, and translating services smoothly with responsive support. We don't pick tools in isolation. It's very purposeful. We have a principle of platforms over point solutions. We're very focused on a smaller set of strategic platforms to simplify our estate, cut costs, cut down duplication, build our internal capabilities, and move faster. Microsoft, for us, provides a joined-up ecosystem across productivity, workflow, data, customer experience, analytics, identity, and security with Power Platform and Dynamics, supporting our applications and processes, underpinned by Fabric for data and analytics, and accelerators on top of platform like Provence ServiceTeam help us move faster when we're buying on platform. So ServiceTeam has supported us by modernising our core operating system for digital service. It helps us to support colleagues, manage incidents and problems, enable self-service, transition change reliably into live service, drive through service improvements, assess change impact, and then in future phases, we're looking at managing full IT asset management lifecycle, including software, certificates, licenses, and building roadmaps for in-house built applications within the product. It's not just an ITSM tool for us, it's part of a wider shift to a more modern, secure, cloud-based platform-led service delivery, and building on an in-house capability.
Wow, that is not just very strong, but very clear on your vision, your strategy, how ServiceTeam fits, and of course, where you see it helping your teams move faster. I'm really really pleased about that. Thank you for sharing that. Keely, do you have any questions for David?
So I guess, as we know, David, Leeds made a big strategic investment into Dynamics and Power Platform a few years back. So it'd be really good to hear a little bit more about that broader Power Platform strategy and how that can support the way that you want to modernize overall service delivery.
We did, yes, and that's why I think the service team investment makes sense for us. We've got 50 or more, just over 50 applications built on Power Platform, business applications into various different areas within service. And we have a broader strategy around simplifying and standardizing around Power Platform and Dynamics as a core platform, which in practice means building across a whole Microsoft ecosystem with Microsoft 365, Power Platform, Dynamics, and the data platform as a data platform, rather than creating lots of disconnected technology islands that we have to worry about integrating. Power Platform supports our modernization journey because it allows us to digitize processes faster, and with advancements that are coming within the platform towards intelligent applications, we're able to move at pace. With the reduced demand on professional coding skill set, we're able to work in a I suppose the term is rainbow team of people from different backgrounds, not necessarily all from a technology background, have a business knowledge and are able still to be productive within the tooling to build business applications out. So for us, it was critical that every decision we make, every investment we make aligns to that platform strategy. We don't look at Power Platform in isolation. We increasingly pair it with Dynamics, Power Automate for work automation, Fabric for analytics, reporting and cross-service insight, M365 for collaboration, and increasingly digital workplace tools, including Copilot for enhancing personal productivity through both agents and embedded AI inside case management and business applications.
And it's great to hear that approach. You made a point earlier on around, you want to buy a platform, not a product. So, reducing that complexity that you've got within your tech landscape. So it's really good to hear that. Were there anything else that stood out to you when you were considering your options rather than just choosing another standalone ITSM product? Was there anything else that you considered as part of that decision?
Absolutely. So I think it's widely recognized that ITSM is a commoditized market, as evidenced by Gartner moving away from publishing a quadrant for ITSM in 2022. And that's due to the maturity of the offerings. From a feature comparison perspective, there's not much to choose from. They're competing in the same space. Some are layering on top artificial intelligence and building artificial intelligence into their processes. But for us, the decision then needed to be how fast can we move with the ITSM product that we choose, and taking into consideration non-functional requirements and wider ecosystem requirements, including how well it fits with our strategy, how well we can configure it, extend it and build it, how well we can customize, can we build on top and around, is it complementary, do we have the skill set in-house. So the attraction for Provan Service Team is built on Microsoft Power Apps and Dataverse. It uses Power Pages for Portal. It integrates with Fabric for reporting, and it sits inside our own Power Platform tenant, so the data is under our control. It's compared with standalone products, it means that we're building on technology that we already use elsewhere. And as I said, we've 50 or so applications that we built out on top of Power Platform. We've an investment there in Dynamics. It's a skill set that we're growing internally rather than creating another specialist technology silo that would be difficult to support. So whilst we acknowledge that our previous ITSM product was best of breed, we had insufficient agency over the product to get the most out of it. In part, that was due to skill set required to integrate and build within it, configure and customize the product to meet our requirements. So we needed to look at something really different that allowed us to leverage all of our in-house competencies such that we could really place the emphasis on building out the operating system required to transform our digital service. And to also address, whilst there was a strategic cost motivator for us using ServiceTeam, it was quite attractive from a license investment standpoint. We also had an investment in Azure DevOps for engineering teams to work. And ServiceTeam integrates with Azure DevOps, which allows us to transition work seamlessly out of ServiceTeam and into Azure DevOps between ITSM teams and DevOps teams. Through its integration. I would say engineers are able to work in their tool of choice, whereas service delivery teams are able to look at optimizing the way we engage with our customers through the ITSM product through ServiceTeam. And as you mentioned, Keely, we've already made the investment in Power Platform as a corporate-wide shared council platform. And we're already getting great value out of it. So we didn't consider that in the license cost calculations that we did for the ITSM product because it was almost just compounding the investment that and the benefit that we got from investing in Power Platform made our decision even more economical.
Yeah, it's that full optimization piece, isn't it? That's going to give you that
Absolutely.
That important return on investment. So Tammy, I'll pass back to you.
Yeah, no, there's so much to uncover from just that one question and response, right? So thank you for sharing, David. And some things that did stick out or stand out for me was the fact that, ServiceTeam is integral, not an add-on, not bolted on, to your already existing Power Platform strategy, which, like you mentioned, you have all the benefits of added value, right, with your existing investment, which really stood out and resonates. So in terms of challenges, though, what were some of those organizational or operational challenges you were hoping to address by moving to ServiceTeam?
So I think we were trying to solve several problems at once with the investment. The legacy environment, as I mentioned before, required specialist skill set, and it constrained our ability to move at pace, make changes in line with the transformation we were going through as an organization. It limited our ability to innovate as we were always wrestling with the product and deliver continuous improvement within service. We wanted to enable more self-service and shift left for users rather than relying on heavy manual handling. We needed to improve our enterprise IT service maturity and alignment with ITIL standards by strengthening our tooling to provide better insights, enable optimization, and support continual service improvement and value delivery, building better. Just to acknowledge, it's not a technology only decision. You need people, process, and technology. And very often, actually, the people change driving technology demand, technology lagging behind, and you're always having to sort of fit technology into your people change ambition and process change ambition. So moving at pace was so important to us. We needed to know that we had the skill set in-house to be able to keep up with the demands that the transformation we were going through placed on the technology team. That made the decision for us, really. We wanted tighter integration with a wider Microsoft estate, including Microsoft 365. So we already were using and working around the existing ITSM product with knowledge bases built out in Microsoft 365. We had documents and repositories of information around contracts with our third-party suppliers, support arrangement documents stored away in Microsoft 365. And we were already using tools like Entra and DevOps for single sign-on and for managing work into engineering teams, and we were already extracting data and then reporting on it in Power BI. So even though we bought an ITSM product that was standalone, we were using the Microsoft suite to build around and create capabilities around the ITSM product. It just made complete sense for us to address the challenge of not having to integrate by buying a product that was complementary in terms of its technology stack. So there was another challenge that we looked to overcome. Finally, we wanted to reduce the long-term licensing and maintenance cost, giving ourselves more flexible and configurable platform. So buying a solution that sat on top of an existing investment helped us to do that. In simple terms, we wanted to move from being more constrained, specialist, harder to change service management model to one that was more configurable, more integrated, more data-driven and easier to evolve, allowing us to pivot away from the technology and towards actually focusing on delivering service improvement at pace.
That leads nicely to the next question I did have was what's next? And I think you've already answered it with the looking ahead. You want to move at pace, but you want a solution, you want tools, and you want a platform that can move and grow as it will adapt to your needs, growing needs, right? That's the shortest version of that response. I hope I'm correct in thinking that's what you alluded to there as well in that question.
For sure. So, I mean, we'll talk a little bit later around some of the challenges, I suppose, that we faced in moving at pace and some of the lessons learned. But I think for where we are now, having delivered our first phase of ServiceTeam, we're pleased that we've got a product that we can lean on. Now we need to start looking at the continuous improvement of that product and delivering the benefits that we expected to deliver. So that is really moving more into self-service. So we're already really pleased with the customer self-service portal. We call it My IT. Staff are familiar with that term, and we've had really good feedback on how easy it is to use, how it's easy to be able to access different ticket types and log information. We've got clearer workflows, evolving towards richer ticket context. So right now, I would say we've got a minimum viable product in terms of the ticket information. Some information is captured in free text fields that we prefer to be specific data points, so that we can report on them more accurately, more consistently. So free text gives the challenge of, if you're capturing somebody's location, where is the Wi-Fi strength not what you'd expect, and the location is not coming from a drop-down list of locations, and instead it's a free text field. People will express it in different ways, and it makes it really hard for us to report on and spot patterns in the tickets that are being reported, and then to look at optimizing and looking at problem management, so identifying problems more proactively. So I would say moving from that reactive support model to a proactive support model requires to have better analytics of the data, and that's the next step for us. Stronger knowledge support. So we already have knowledge bases within M365. We now need to bring them to the front, and start to use the AI functionality within ServiceTeam to be able to bring those knowledge bases, not just to agents who are resolving tickets, but also within the self-service portal for people to be able to self-remediate. Accurate reporting, data analytics, understanding of service health and performance, being able to report the quality of our service into our internal customers. They're all on our roadmap, and allow us to deliver a much more robust support model. For IT teams, tighter integration with the Microsoft stack, as I mentioned, there's a DevOps, and our ways of working in transitioning work between the two products seamlessly. And then out of the back of that, we've got strong focus on shift left, as I mentioned. We want to move resolution closer to the service delivery teams, service centre, and away from tier 2 and tier 3. So where something can be resolved by service centre, it should be. We should be enabling them with automations and capabilities to be able to resolve as quickly as possible, rather than to have to defer to tier 2 and tier 3 support teams and engineering teams. So I guess it's just saying, we're really focused on continuous improvement. We expect to continue to evolve the offering. For us, the phase 2 delivery is critical to enabling that. But what it has already done is recognizing that we can deliver the service faster. There's more automation, better resilience, and it's a platform that fits our broader strategy to be platform centric, move into cloud, be data led, and have a modern digital service delivery.
Wow. Keely, did you have any?
I think, I mean, it's just fantastic to hear the journey that you've been on and how that aligns with your all up strategy for the council. I think it'd be really interesting to hear, like if other public sector organisations were considering a similar path, David. They were looking at modernising their ITSM environment. What do they need to be thinking about? What advice would you give them? And is now the right time to make that change?
Yes, there's a couple of things I would describe as lessons learned that I think it's valuable to tease out. So we definitely made a technology decision and then retrofit that back into the service delivery model. And we had a head of service delivery joining at the same time that we'd made the decision to move ahead. That created some challenges in terms of how we launched the project, putting the focus on the business benefits that we expected to get from the product, and some unique pressures on the timeline. So the opportunity was there to act quickly and deliver a minimum viable product that we could then operate our service on, whilst we worked in parallel to transform the service. So speaking back to, we had to have real confidence that we could move at pace, and we were picking the right stack to be able to move at pace. So I would definitely not do it that way. I would definitely have a head of service in post first, and to support you through that business transition that we went through, and the decision being made jointly with the right justification to move forward. So we also didn't bottom out the integration environment strategy, and we run into some issues that we had to work around. The Azure DevOps integration that I talked about didn't quite work the way we wanted to, and it created some inefficiencies in ways of working. And we've worked with Provance to be able to address those, and to be able to come up with a solution through their development of their roadmap and their product, and then customization to allow us to automate work as it moves through the different teams. We also learned that training demand, I think, is higher than expected, and you need to put that investment in. Change management, change culture is difficult, and allowing people to adopt the product is something that you need to think about up front and have there baked in. But we did learn that with strong collaboration, agile ways of working, the right engagement from SMEs as a team, the clear vision and mandate, it's possible to deliver at pace. And for us, bringing that to life from contract to go live with Provance was 3 months for us. And I think that's an incredible achievement. I'm really proud of the team for being able to deliver that. So to address what would I say to other public sector organisations, I think it's not uncommon for a public sector local government organisation to have a Microsoft first strategy the way that we do, and already have investments in Microsoft Power Platform, and Dynamics, Fabric, and so on. So My view would be that if your current tool is hard to change and hard to integrate with, dependent upon scarce skill set, and maybe you're dependent upon third-party consultants to come in and support you with your ITSM product, it's out of step with your wider digital direction, then waiting usually increases cost and risk. And the key is, it's not just replacing a tool, it is your operating system for your digital service, and a platform strategy makes sense. It's sustainable for us. The lesson is that success comes from aligning the tool to your strategic platforms, and because we've got a Microsoft first principle, building internal capabilities, phasing delivery pragmatically and iteratively, and treating support, governance and training as a first-class work stream from day one. So I would say modernize when you can, connect the platform decision to the wider organizational strategy, not when legacy pain becomes unbearable. If you do that, then the technology is not an enabler, and it needs to be an enabler of the broader transformation rather than standalone systems project.
Yeah. Very, very, I can tell the war wounds very clear, and I'm glad I was on that journey early with the team, and it's truly been incredible collaborative effort from all three parties, right? From Microsoft to the Leeds team and the Provence team. We really worked together to see that we've gone past phase one, right? So we're looking for even more successful phase two and beyond. So thank you, David. Thank you, Keely, you both, for making the time this afternoon to join us and share all these incredible insights. And I know we're at time, but just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. And we'll look forward to speaking with you again, maybe after phase two.
Okay.
Been a pleasure, Tammy. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you later. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.